Hi everyone, I'm Kayla. Welcome back. I just wanted to share my 3-week pregnancy update. So I'm at the end of my 3rd week of pregnancy, and I just want to share a little bit about what's been going on this past week with me and symptoms that involve the 2-week wait, and you can see before the positive pregnancy test and kind of what the 3rd week entails. It's been a pretty easy week. I found out probably the earliest you could possibly find out you're pregnant, because I'm just very in tune with my body and kind of just been keeping track of things and noticed a few changes and differences, and I was like, oh my goodness, something's different. Cody says every day, ever since we got married, you must be pregnant, you must be pregnant, you must be pregnant. He's been wanting a kid forever. So this is the greatest gift for him, and definitely for me too. But let's start out with my very first day of pregnancy, which technically I wasn't pregnant at all. So they count the day you ovulated as week 2. It's like you're starting week 3. So the first 2 weeks of pregnancy, you were never even pregnant. The first day of your last period is day number 1, and your whole week of period, and that next week, and on that 3rd week is when you ovulate, and now I'm at the end of that week. It's a little confusing. So I'm technically, right now, 3 weeks and 6 days pregnant. So the first day of my last period, it was March 26th, 2020. And it was a normal period, lasted like 4 days, had a day of spotting before, 2 days of spotting after. Very typical for me. The day I ovulated, so I've been wearing, the Ava bracelet tracker to also help with that too. And my ovulation day, I got an LH surge peak on April 16th, 2020. And I either ovulated later that day or the next day, which would be the 17th of April. All I know is on the 17th, here's some of the symptoms that kind of led me to believe the 2-week wait, like I might be pregnant. I noticed on my Ava bracelet, the days leading up to it, I was supposed to have ovulated on the 14th, but after the 14th, and I had never seen this before, and I've been doing the Ava for 6+ months, it said, you may not have ovulated. And then the next day that I was supposed to have ovulated, you may not have ovulated. Then the next day. So I was like, I have no idea what that means. So I went to the tried and true actual ovulation test. I took those the first thing in the morning, and then at night, sometimes it differs. And realized that I had a surge. And I was like, okay. Cody and I weren't entirely trying. We're actually not ready. We were going to wait a few more months, but what's a few months? Literally. But, so I saw those 2 lines and I was like, oh dear, but, couldn't do anything then. We had already been careful, but I had thought I'd ovulated 2 days before that, so it was like, And I believe conception was either the 16th or 17th. So that day of conception, I had a really bad headache, which I took 2 Advil. Didn't obviously know I was pregnant. Should not have taken 2 Advil, but it is what it is. So the 20th, which is that next Monday, I noticed my Ava bracelet an elevated basal body temperature, skin surface temperature. That was 98 degrees Fahrenheit. And my temperature is from 96 to 97 for like every day my whole life. Besides having a fever, I've never had like 98 or above. So I saw it was 98 for like 5 days in a row. And I was like, that's really weird. So I knew that was my very first trigger sign besides that bad headache. And then on the 21st and 22nd, which was 4 and 5 days post-ovulation, no, 5 and 6 days post-ovulation, I was super, super tired. Didn't understand why. I was like, I've really not done much today, but for some reason I feel like it's been the busiest day of the year. I know on 5 days post-ovulation, I had really bad acid reflux at night, and I couldn't figure out why, because I hadn't eaten since like 4 p.m., going into the night, and I was like, why? I should not be feeling like this. I had to like sleep sitting up because it just was like all right here. I was like, this is strange. I usually don't have problems with that. And then that next morning, it was kind of a late breakfast. I had some carrots and hummus, and the hummus bothered me a lot. I was like, oh, I can't eat that. Maybe there's something wrong with it. And then unfortunately that's when the bad I can't sleep. That was when the bad insomnia started. It started Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and then on so far. Every night I lay there for 2 to 6 hours hoping and praying I fall asleep. 6 days post-ovulation and 7 days DPO, I realized my breasts were sore, which I thought was normal for me. You know, after ovulate, they're sore for about a week and a half, 2 weeks before my period, but then they stopped. They were never sore. I was like, oh well, my body's very unpredictable, so I was like, whatever. And then on 8 days post-ovulation, I noticed I had some cramping, you know, in my uterus, and the soap I'd been using a few times was itching, and it was burning and like itching my legs, my arms, like wherever I'd put it in that shower, you know, a few minutes before. And I was like, man, why? It's like my skin's crawling. I was like, this has never bothered me before. I just kind of shrugged it off. And that day I also took a really long and hot bath. I thought it was like PMS symptoms, bad cramping. You're not supposed to take long hot baths, but I didn't know. I didn't know I was pregnant. And I was also really emotional that day. I remember my temper went like that. And I can be feisty, as Cody describes me, and I can turn on a dime, but like this was like over something that was so stupid, and it wasn't even towards Cody, it was towards something else, and I was like, that's a little bit out of character for me. Maybe I'm just getting more bold as I age. I don't know. I was very frustrated. I knew on that day, starting at 7 days post-ovulation, I started to bleed, and I was like, the spotting days before my period. It's here. I knew I wasn't pregnant. And I realized I wasn't hungry. I wasn't hungry at all. That day, the next day, and little do I know, continuing on till now. 8 days post-ovulation, I realized I started forgetting things and I couldn't think straight. I was like, what in the world? What's going on here? I'll be talking mid-sentence and just stop and forget what I was saying and just can't continue on. It's like, what was I doing? That day I also realized from that day on, I started to pee a lot. And I was like, well, I'm drinking a lot of water, I guess, but it seems like, it wasn't like a feeling, it was actual having to pee a lot. Like every hour and a half, 2 hours, I'd have to go to the bathroom. And it was like, what in the world is going on here? And starting on that 8 days post-ovulation, I had a lot of gas also, like just, you know, burping, passing gas, and that's a little unusual for me because unless I'd eaten something that was upsetting, which I hadn't eaten much at all. I think like the whole 3rd week of pregnancy, I probably ate like 700 calories or less every day and was like walking because that was the only thing that calmed me. And I've just been so, like, it's like as if someone put a pile of grass in front of you and said, here, eat this. You look at it, it's like, I'm good. That's how I feel like with everything. I'll look at something, it's like, I can't even picture myself eating it. I'm just so not hungry. And then on the day of the positive pregnancy test, I was waiting until that Sunday because it was 8 or 9 days post-ovulation and I didn't want to play the line game of do I see it, do I not, and the stress, the panic, whatever. And so I just waited to that morning, and I knew that morning I'd woken up with some acid reflux again, some gas, and I was like, wow, that's strange. But like I said, for the past 3 days I had light pink bleeding, just enough to in a panty liner, light pink bleeding all day, and then that next day it was kind of like red, and that's when I was like, oh, okay, here's my period. So I changed to a heavier pad, but then that next day it had kind of stopped and was brown, and I had the normal pink, like cramping from a period. I was like, wow, that was a really short period. But like I said, my body's very unpredictable and I don't think twice about stuff like that. But regardless, every month I take a pregnancy test anyway at around like 8-9 days post-ovulation. So that Sunday morning I woke up at like 11 p.m. because I hadn't slept all night, and you know, peed in my cup, got the pregnancy test, put it in. It was one of those cheap ones. And last month I thought I saw a faint line and it wasn't one. And so I saw a faint line that was a little bit more pronounced than the month before. I was like, man, these cheap pregnancy tests, why do I even bother with these? So I threw it out and got another cheap one because why waste a lot of money? Did the same thing, same cup of pee, put it in. I was like, it's the same thing. But see, it doesn't show up until about 2 or 3 minutes later, which I know the box says, but can you really believe that? I don't know. I was like, that's weird. So I got an actual digital one that says for sure yes or for sure no. and it was one of those clear blues that said like 1 to 2 weeks pregnant, which really, I'd taken it, and I was waiting, and I grabbed the camera, and I have, you can see my reaction video I uploaded a few days ago. But I grabbed my camera and I was like, is this happening? Is this really happening? And I'm waiting for the little timer to show my results. I'm waiting, and then I knew already. The second it popped up, it said pregnant, 1 to 2 weeks. I'm gonna show you that. Well, it said pregnant 1 to 2 weeks. It actually went blank now. A little too late. I have a picture, I can add that in. But, yeah. I've got this one. So I took quite a few because I just wanted to have, like, not that I didn't believe it, I just wanted to have proof, like, okay, when I show people, I want to have, like, 1 to 2 weeks pregnant, this one's pregnant, because I thought they do disappear after a while, the digital ones. And this one has, you may not see on camera, like a faint line, like right here. Anyway, so I like go into like panic mode. I knew for sure I was pregnant, and I told Cody, but I'll tell you that story in a little bit. I had gotten little UT booties in a little container and wrote on the little glass case, no, I put it away, but it says future vol, I can put a picture in here, future vol fan coming soon, and put the 2 pregnancy tests in a box with that, and then a little note saying you're gonna be the best dad, congratulations. I threw this together in like 2 minutes. I ran to find Cody. I was like, Cody, and I was like, how am I gonna pull this off? The second he sees the camera, he's gonna guess it. The second he sees a box or something, he'll know. I was like, how do I play this off? So we just moved into our house. I was like, okay, maybe I can just say I found something you've been looking for years, which he has. And I can't wait for you to open it. I've got to film your reaction because you're going to be so shocked. You've been looking for this forever. So he looked a mess because he just, you know, woken up from a nap, and he was like, and I was like, fix your pants, because like he was just all astron, and I was like, hurry. He's like, is someone here? And I was like, no, just fix your pants, hurry. And so I film him, and he was like, what is it? And he had trouble with the box, and I helped him, and he opened it. He was just like, and sat there, and then he smiled, and it went sunk, and he was like, you're kidding. I was like, no. And he was thrilled. And then we started like panic mode. It's like, what have I done the last week? I don't know. Took those 2 Advil, took a really hot bath. Nothing else? Okay. You know, we don't drink, so we were good with that. But I was like, oh my gosh. So I immediately was like, it's Sunday. I can't even call my OB. You know, and I was concerned because I had been cramping and like a period and bleeding. Not bad, but I was like, okay, something's a little bit weird. So that like 8 a.m. Monday morning, I called the doctor. I was like, I got a few positive pregnancy tests, and I've got some bleeding and cramping. Can I come in? And of course, during coronavirus, they're like, no, you needed to go through triage first. And then I knew this is the beginning of the end. It's like, okay, here's how it's going to be the next 9 months. This is just great. And so I was just like, all right. And then they called me back, like, yeah, I guess you can come in for a blood draw. So I came in on that Monday, the 27th, for a blood draw. Still had the pregnancy brain. Felt like I couldn't even drive and gas. And so the blood draw, the HCG level, and this is 10 days post-ovulation, HCG level is 18, and the progesterone was 13.5, so that was my baseline. We need to do another blood draw 3 days later to make sure that levels go up, because that was just a baseline. Don't know if it had gone down or was going up or whatever. So 3 days later, on the 30th, which was Thursday, I had another blood draw, and my HCG had gone, not only tripled, like it literally went from 18 to 64 in 3 days. My progesterone is 20, which the doctor said is great. And since I'm so early, like this is the early, besides IVF patients, that first blood draw was the earliest he's ever seen for like a positive pregnancy marker in the blood. Like ever. And so he's like, yeah, since you still are so early, he wants me to come in next Wednesday to do another blood draw. So I'll be in the middle of my 4th week, just to kind of see, make sure those HCG levels are in their like thousands, which they probably will be because I feel pretty bleh. But besides that, no breast tenderness. I've experienced no nausea. My skin's normal, hair's normal. Well, I had the soap sensitivity. I've pretty much returned back to normal with gas. I'm still peeing a lot. Don't have as much pregnancy brain. I've got tons of energy. like to walk around a lot, walk outside a lot. I'm very sensitive to heat, so I get overheated quite easily. Just not sleeping. That's probably the worst part of it all. And the lack of medication. So obviously I can't take Advil, so I've been relying on Tylenol. And it just doesn't quite cut it. It really does not. But I just want to give you that update and say I'm nervous and really excited to start this journey. Like I said, we're 26 years old, about to be 27 in July. And I've been married for almost 4 years, almost 5 when the baby's born. Yeah, so when we unexpectedly got pregnant, I was not expecting that because my mom had a lot of fertility issues with me and having me and Morgan. So I kind of expected it to be a while, so that's why I just wasn't expecting to be extremely fertile like this. But like I said, this is totally a God thing. I always picture getting pregnant at 27 and getting birth at 28, but it'll be a year, about 4 months earlier, pregnant at 26, birth at 27, which is no big deal. But it's totally God's plan because I don't know entirely how we did get pregnant. Because it was like, we were pretty darn careful, so it was truly meant to be. And my gut intuition is it is definitely a boy. Boys run his family. I do a whole genetic mapping thing, and it doesn't matter on the girl side because it's the male that determines if the baby is a male or female from his sperm. So it is like 75+% chance that this is a boy, because we did the baby dance 2 days before ovulation. They say the sooner you have sex towards ovulation, the more chances it's a boy anyway, even if you're more susceptible to have girls. So it's like, okay, do we even need to have a gender reveal? Like, really? So my due date is January 7th, 2021, and that obviously could change. The doctors think I'm 4 weeks already. They're already adding an extra week, but my cycles are 34 days long instead of 28, and even though they know that, they don't care. So everything's kind of off, and I'm not 4 weeks along. I'm at the end of my, not almost 5 weeks, I'm almost 4 weeks. So that would be a challenge, because certain things you can't do until certain days of the week, times of the week, and we're doing the genetic blood testing at 10 weeks. We're gonna have we have our ultrasound appointment, which Cody won't be able to go to. I'm gonna give birth alone. How wonderful, what a great time. Just what I always wanted. My first ultrasound and real appointment, which is a little crazy, is at 8 weeks pregnant on May 22nd at 1 p.m. and they're gonna do everything. Full blood work, ultrasound, hopefully we'll hear the heartbeat, and after that, I'm probably gonna make my baby registry and probably announce to Instagram at like 14 weeks. And we're getting a dog in the middle of all of this. It's just a little bit crazy. Our gender reveal will probably be at 10 weeks because we're gonna get that blood test for genetic testing. We're gonna tell our family on Mother's Day. So this video will go out obviously after that, and obviously after we announce it to Instagram. So wow, we'll be like 15 weeks behind with these videos. Sorry about that. But yeah, so it's just an adventure. Let me give you a belly shot before we go. Okay. Let me see. Okay, I just had lunch, but I generally have a little bit of pooch here, so I literally look the exact same. See? Ta-da! Yep, there I am. And also, I have gained, I had originally gained 5 pounds, which I thought was from my period. But now I'm down no, I had gained 4 pounds, but I thought it was from my period. Now I'm down 5.4 pounds in a week. Less than a week, because I'm not hungry. Because I'm just not hungry. But we shall see. I'm gonna gain, they told me to gain around 25 pounds. So we shall see, and hopefully no more than that. So I'll probably be doing some exercise videos. I've got some like what to expect when expecting videos, workout videos, and of course the book, and I'm ordering a lot of things for the gender reveal, or not, for the pregnancy announcement soon. So it's just a lot. Forgot to say, this is how big our baby is right now. The size of a sugar crystal or tiny little cake sprinkle. Hee hee. And it's only like 0.05 inches long. But Thanks for watching, and tune in next week for the 4-week update. Bye!